the issue which happened, especially on social media, on Norman Mapeza after the Four Nation tournament which happened in Malawi. There was a lot which happened to the extent that it appeared as if Norman Mapeza was his first time to be coaching at the highest level. Someone who have won 4 league competitions, someone whom we have seen with teams doing very well. That on its own, I think, tells everyone that this post has become a bit too toxic, to the extent that people started saying, why should we waste our time? And also, the advert itself was like a shocker, because no one really expected them to re-advertise, because it was advertised, then they gave the job to Berito, then they decided otherwise. Rather than trying to say, let's have a head hunt and say, let's make a decision, they didn't do that. And as a result, everyone just said, okay, fine. If they think that they want us, they'll come and talk to us. Because usually top coaches who are doing well, they always want to be approached rather than try to say, let me apply for this post. And as a result, you find our top coaches have decided to say, this administration seems to be an administration who really don't understand what exactly they really want. What exactly do they think they should take our football to the next stage, or make sure that it goes behind? Because at the moment, as we look at it, they advertised. After advertising, we almost have got 2.5 weeks to be going to the competition. The national team is not there. The coach himself is not. The technical team is not there. That on its own shows the administration, who are the NC, have really failed football. So that I'm wanting to believe that even the top authorities in the name of the SRC, the minister herself, I'm sure they are really worried with what is happening. I think this is the first of its kind where we have had to go for a tournament within the last 3 weeks. We don't have a coach, we don't have a team. Our opponents themselves, look at South Africa, they've got a coach. They already have announced a team who are playing us on the 11th. We don't have anything. So from that point of view, it shows we are not organized.
All right, and one would want to know that lately we saw during the Four Nations tournament, we saw the coach being announced that Norman Mapeza is going to take over on an interim basis. Then minutes after, we see the squad being posted by ZIFA, and one would want to know, who is responsible for selecting the national team?
National team, by right, needs to be selected by the technical team. The coaches who are going to be working with the players are the ones who are supposed to announce the players, saying, I will bring this player so that he can play this role. This is the role I want this player to play. I've seen him doing well in this position. I will need him. But in our case, for the Four Nation, the coach was appointed after the players have been brought together, just waiting to say after the announcement they will fly and join the coach, which on its own I think was a very bad precedent. And we are currently going to see the same for the World Cup campaign, which is coming on the 7th against Lesotho and on the 11th against South Africa. I think this trend where the Secretariat and the NC itself are selecting players, I think should just stop once and for all. This is nonsense at its highest level, which I think the nation should not allow. For me today, even if they announce one of the top coaches who have done extremely well, maybe in Europe whatsoever, without having enough time with the coaching players, without having to call his own coaches, his own players whom we think will play the role which will help him to get the win. That on its own tells you the NC are not worried. They are not worried about the results. They just want to say, let's go and participate. Because you can't tell me that within 2 weeks you appoint the coach, he just missed the players maybe 2 or 3 days before the match, then you expect him to perform miracles. You can't.
All right, and also let's come to the issue of the technical team. Last time we spoke about Norman Mapeza being appointed on an interim basis. Then the next thing we get to hear that you will be assisted by Chekshua Chiragwi. And one would want to know that, is it a case of ZIFA selecting to say, you are the coach and you are going to be assisted by this one, or as a coach you have the privilege to choose whom you want to work with?
I think by right, coaches need to appoint their own technical team. When a coach is appointed as a head coach, it's him who is supposed to be saying, I would want to work with so and so because I know that my weaknesses are like this. This guy will bring something to me so that we combine and try to come out with a stronger technical team. But unfortunately, in our scenario for the Four Nation tournament, it was very clear that the NC are the ones who brought the assistant coach, which is really a bad precedent. And I think we should never support that. We should allow a scenario where the head coach decides who are going to be his assistants rather than having to give him. That's not proper. And I think these are some of the weaknesses in football which will make sure our football will always remain in the doldrums rather than being taken to the next level.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks. Sure.
All right.